Yes, that's right. I think I've worked out who Sadie Sink is going to be playing in Spider-Man Brand New Day. With leaks, set photos, insider information, I've pieced together all the evidence that we have got thus far about her character, and I think I may have predicted who she actually will be playing in this movie. And genuinely, this could be one of the biggest twists that we have ever seen in a Spider-Man movie, so stay tuned. So first of all, let's break down what we actually know about Sadie Sink's character in this movie. The first thing that we know is that her character is under so much secrecy. Comicbook.com recently said just yesterday that apparently her character has a major twist attached to it, and Marvel and Sony wants this twist hidden from the public. Apparently, the actual identity of her character is a massive spoiler for this movie, so Marvel and Sony don't want that getting out there. I think this tells us a lot more about the character than Marvel and Sony initially wanted us to know. It's kind of like when someone asks you a question and you just kind of say no comment. It kind of indirectly infers a lot about what you're trying to say, if that makes any sense. I think the same sort of thing is happening here. If what comicbook.com is saying is actually true, and her character is a major spoiler, and there's a major twist attached to her character, then I think we can take a lot from that. Not only that, a major part in this whole saga of her character being a secret is apparently her code name, according to insiders on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day, is Annabelle Adams. Now, keep that name in mind, because that is a really interesting hint as to who potentially she might be playing. But either way, fans and rumors have gone wild since her casting back in March, with insiders like Daniel RPK, The Cosmic Circus, and Alex Perez, everyone chiming in to who they think Sadie Sink is going to be playing in this movie. We've had names like Black Cat. Gwen Stacy has been a really popular one as well. We've also had a multiversal version of Mary Jane Watson. We've also had names like Carlie Cooper being thrown around as well. And of course, a big one is Mayday Parker, and of course, Jean Grey as well from the X-Men. These are all different names that have been thrown around over the past couple of months for who she could be playing in this movie. However, I think one of them stands out amongst the rest, but I'll get to that. But first, let's talk about Annabelle Adams and why this name is important. So why does Sadie Sink have the name Annabelle Adams as her code name on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day? First of all, I'm going to be honest, I don't know the answer to that question, but I can tell you who Annabelle Adams is. And this is where it gets interesting. So Annabelle Adams is actually a character in Marvel Comics. It isn't just a random name that they've made up for her character in the movie. No, this is an actual character from the comics. Annabelle Adams was actually a bartender and a singer at the Four Seasons Hotel in Houston, and she first appeared in Scarlet Spider Volume 2. The story goes, essentially, Kane ends up coming to this hotel when he's on the run. If you guys don't know who Kane is, he is a clone of Peter Parker from, of course, the Clone Saga. Annabelle Adams and Kane ended up forging a relationship with one another. Annabelle ended up getting superpowers as well, and after multiple highs and lows with Kane, Annabelle actually ended up leaving Kane because she saw the darker side of him. We know Kane is sort of the darker clone of Peter Parker. If you guys don't know a lot about the Clone Saga or Kane and you want to know more, I do highly recommend go reading a bunch of those stories, because even though the Clone Saga has a bad rap, Kane is actually a really cool character. But either way, Annabelle Adams was a character, a major character from those stories. So the question is Sadie Sink just playing this character? Is she Annabelle Adams? Well, if that's her code name on the set, I highly doubt it. Yes, it's only a code name, but similarities are there. Annabelle Adams does actually have red hair in the comics, and Sadie Sink has been reportedly spotted with ginger hair when filming for Brand New Day in London, which I think automatically writes off the idea of her being someone like Gwen Stacy, for example. And according to Alex Perez and the Cosmic Circus, her character in this movie will be an ally to Peter Parker and not to Spider-Man, meaning that she'll largely be on the Peter side of things rather than the Spider-Man side of things. Similar to how Annabelle Adams was largely infatuated with Kane, the character, rather than his alter ego, the Spider-Man, sort of darker side of that character. So after all of that information, I think people would logically say, well, if she's not playing this Annabelle Adams, she's got to be a character similar. And using all the evidence, I think a lot of people would say someone like potentially Carlie Cooper. Carlie Cooper has ginger hair. She is an ally of Peter Parker, of course, being a love interest during the Dan Slott run of comics. Also, we know Carlie Cooper was introduced in the comic Spider-Man Brand New Day, written by Dan Slott, which is, of course, the comic book which this movie is titled after. Oh my god, it all pieces together. Is she playing Carlie Cooper? I mean, it makes sense, right? Also, coming in from Daniel RPK, he has suggested that apparently her character in the movie will go under the name Carlie. No code names. Apparently, Carlie is meant to be her actual name in the script. So if that leak is to be believed, of course, take it with a pinch of salt, but if that leak is to be believed, she's Carlie Cooper, right? All the evidence points to it, and that makes the most sense. However, there's still a twist. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, comicbook.com revealed that apparently Marvel and Sony have a major twist for this character that they're trying to get under wraps, and they hope never gets leaked before the film comes out. Now, if this character was Carlie Cooper, and she was just a friend or maybe even a new love interest of Peter Parker in Spider-Man Brand New Day, there's not much twisting going on there, you know what I'm saying? I think that character is largely obvious. I think that character is largely predicted by the fans. I don't think there's anything really they'd need to keep under wraps. Her character would just be another love interest, another side character for Peter Parker. So there's got to be something more. This character has to go deeper. There has to be something else other than she's Carlie Cooper. So this is my theory. Now stay with me because this sounds insane at first, but when you really think about it, it makes so much sense. First of all, I just want to remind everyone that we are currently in the multiverse saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yes, Kevin Feige has confirmed that this film will largely be street-based and will be going back to the roots of the Spider-Man character from the comic books, and will sort of largely be ignoring all the big multiversal stuff that will be happening in the larger MCU. And yes, while this has been confirmed, we still have to remember we are still in the multiverse saga. And this movie releases directly before the events of Avengers Doomsday, which is the start of the big multiverse crossover event of the MCU. And you're telling me there will be no multiverse elements in this movie? You're lying. Okay, I'm sorry. There's got to be something. So that's the first point I'll make. The second point I'm gonna make is going back to her appearance in London. She was spotted with ginger hair, not blonde, ginger hair, her natural hair color. Point number 3. Apparently this character is going to have a major twist. We've mentioned it twice already in the video before, and I will reiterate it a third time. This character is going to have a major twist connected to it, one that Sony and Marvel do not want getting out there. And that only leads me on to point number 4. It's Mayday Parker. I mean, it's written all over it. It's got to be Mayday Parker. And this makes the most sense. Okay. Before you think I'm clinically insane, let me just break this down for you in terms of where this would line up in the movie itself. We know at this moment in time, after Spider-Man No Way Home, Peter Parker is isolated. He's left Ned and MJ, and he's currently living his own life. We also know that Ned and MJ, played by Zendaya, and of course Jacob Batalon, will be reprising their roles in this movie. To what extent, we don't actually know. However, we know they're going to be in this film, which means at some point or another, they are probably going to interact with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Now, I don't think this will be an interaction where they'll start to get to know each other again, or they'll be best buds just like they were in the Home trilogy. No, I think it's going to be more of an afar sort of connection. Like, Peter will be sort of not spying on them, but keeping a close eye on them in the distance. I think there will be this connect between them in this movie, where Peter's internal conflict will directly tie to the relationship he once had with MJ and Ned. We have to remember, Peter just lost Aunt May in Spider-Man No Way Home, and all of his instincts will be telling him, I want to go and see MJ, I want to go and see Ned. But that disconnect will come when he realizes, if I do go and try and start a relationship with them again like I had in the Home trilogy, they might end up dying just like Aunt May did. And I think this will be Peter's internal conflict in this film. And because of this, it will further isolate himself. Just like the ending of No Way Home said in the script, Peter Parker is no more, and Spider-Man is the one that remains. And I think this will be the main theme throughout this film. Now, where does Mayday Parker fit into all of this? Well, of course, we know we are in the multiverse saga, and we also know that Peter Parker will be in college. Now, my theory is that Sadie Sink's character, who will be called Carlie, and will be loosely based off the character Carlie Cooper, maybe hints of Annabelle Adams, potentially, will be a college classmate of Peter Parker. However, the main twist that will happen during the movie is that it will be revealed that she is not actually who she says she is. And the reason she actually puts herself forward to get to know Peter Parker is because she is actually Mayday Parker from a different universe. Now, this won't be for any random reason at all. Her place in this movie will actually have a massive thematic resonance with Peter Parker's character. Mayday Parker's point in the movie will be to show why Peter and MJ should be together. Peter is pushing MJ away and pushing that relationship away. But when Peter finds out that this character actually isn't Carlie Cooper or Annabelle Adams or whoever, she's actually his and MJ's daughter from a different universe, I think this will be sort of a switching point in Peter's character arc. He will then realize, oh my god, I need to stop locking myself away, I need to open myself up more, but maybe be a little bit more cautious than I was during the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. Maybe it's about finding the balance in his life as Peter and Spider-Man. It's almost like a balancing act between those two characters. At the start of the movie, Peter is way too much one way, where he's Spider-Man all the time, and he's not Peter Parker, and he's neglecting his Peter Parker life. But during maybe No Way Home and Far From Home, maybe he was slightly too much the other way. Maybe he was too self-centered on caring what his Peter Parker life was like. I mean, that certainly was the case during Far From Home, and he suffered the consequences for it in No Way Home. So now it's about finding that balance, and maybe Mayday Parker makes him realize that, yes, I am meant to be with MJ. I don't need to punish myself. I mean, I have a daughter with her in a different universe. Like, I should be with MJ. And I think that would be a gut-wrenching, emotional twist that would, if done right and if built up right, I think would resonate with the fans. And also, Mayday Parker is a character that we've never seen in live action, so it would make sense. Marvel and Sony want to do things different. They're all about not using the same villains and the same characters that they've done before, and if that is the case, then Mayday Parker would be a great addition to the movie. I think the only issue we're going to have is if this movie really is street level, I think they're going to have to do it absolutely spot on for it to not seem convoluted, because the multiverse is not meant to be anywhere near this movie. And I think the fans don't want the multiverse anywhere near this movie. So they'd have to do it right. But with it building up to Avengers Doomsday and everything like that, I think it could work. If the reports and leaks aren't true that this character isn't actually going to have a massive twist attached to it, I think it almost certainly is going to be Carlie Cooper. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with weekly Spider-Man brand new day updates, and we're covering all the theories, all the speculation, everything that comes out. If someone coughs on set, I'm going to be there and reporting on it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.